As we start out this year's top 10, we've got more ghosts, jump scares, and evil spirits for this installment of the Best in Horror Countdown 2020. Welcome to the official Best in Horror 2019-2020 countdown on ML Miller Frights, a part of the Kings of Horror Network. I'm ML Miller. Be sure to give this video a like, share it with your buddies across the electronic superhighway, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you're in the Chicago area and love horror, you have no excuse not to head out to the Chi-Town Movies Drive-In for the Music Box of Horrors. Every night in October for 31 nights, there will be late shows, Sunday through Thursday, and double features every Friday and Saturday night. Every weekend is themed, Grindhouse Fridays, Rip-Off Saturdays, and Sequel Sundays. Tonight they're going to be playing Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is a modern classic by director Francis Ford Coppola, and even though Keanu Reeves' accent is horrendous, the rest of the movie is pretty good. Look below for a link for the schedule, where to get tickets, and directions to this awesome horror event. Number 10 on the countdown is Host, released on July 30th, 2020. It's streaming exclusively on Shudder. It was directed by Rob Savage and written by Rob Savage, Gemma Hurley, and Jed Shepard. 6 young friends who are all locked in their apartments due to the pandemic hold a Zoom session in order to reconnect since they've been housebound for way too long. They decide to invite in a mystic to hold a seance online as a fun activity, but unbeknownst to everyone, an evil spirit is set loose, and even though they are miles apart and bolted behind doors in their homes, that doesn't seem to be able to stop an evil from haunting them all. They say some of the most creative things came from desperate times. That's certainly the case with Host, a new film that takes full advantage of the current state of the lockdown world. With everyone communicating on Zoom, it was only a matter of time someone was going to come along and make a movie about a Zoom session from hell, but who would have thought they would have made it so damn good? Host is one of those brilliant films that occurs right at the perfect time. Everyone has been on a Zoom session at this point, and the film acknowledges all of the Zoom tricks we've seen lamely used over and over, like changing backgrounds, skins, animations, and videotaped imagery. While Unfriended, Open Windows, and others have attempted to utilize the computer video chat in similar ways, nothing really compares to how masterfully Rob Savage takes advantage of all of the quirks, tics, complications, and distractions that occur in your average attempt to herd cats to get a successful Zoom call underway. Host takes place just under an hour, the average time for a session like this to occur, so it's a breezy film that rarely gives the viewer time to take a breath. Right from the beginning, as the host starts the session and invites the rest of the cast, we see little things that suggest something is wrong. The way this escalates from a few small, odd occurrences to a full-scale Armageddon serves as a crucial lesson in pacing, ever-increasing suspense, and developing tension. Structurally, this is a sound film that doesn't leave a minute to spare from minute 1 until the end. While found footage films are usually cheaply made and going for the easiest scares and basest of cinematic skill, Host is everything but. The film is even rich metaphorically as, like the virus that has left us all housebound, the evil spirit seems to be passed on from one participant to the other in the Zoom groups as if it were a highly infectious pathogen, unleashing terror and death to everything in its path. The film communicates this message pretty clearly and manages to speak a powerful subtext even over the effective use of this now common mode of communication. The characters all feel absolutely real and authentic. While I haven't seen any of these actresses before, they all end up being unique and interesting in their own kooky and different ways. Each of them has good and bad qualities that get highlighted during the hour we share with them, and all of them are likable, which made me root for them to escape the evil entity all the more. Host relies on many a jump scare, with something coming right at you over and over again. I often see this as a cheap trick used by filmmakers to get the heart pumping. It's a lowest common denominator scare that I usually object to when I see it happen in the latest Blumhouse effort. But for some reason, because this is a film that forces the viewer to engage with the screen so closely through multiple windows, the jump scares work almost too well for me every time. Filmmaker Savage is conservative with these shocking moments, only using them after working up the tension to a deafening level. When the shock does come, it's something that blew me back in my chair and almost off my feet. It's a smart pacing of these scares that make them some of the best you'll ever see. The love fest on Host is no hype. It is genius from a technical, storytelling, acting, and straight-up scary level. It utilizes something so common and takes it to terrifying heights of horror. The fact that each of the Zoom members created their own effects and performed their own stunts during the filmmaking makes this all the more impressive a feat. Rob Savage has stumbled on a groundbreaking idea and pushed that idea to the max. Who knows how relevant Host will be a year from now, but it's one of the most iconic films of 2020 as it embraces the horror of the moment and takes it to nightmarish extremes. You want more ghostly fun? Try Echoes of Fear. It was released on October 16th, 2020. It's available on digital download and on demand from Uncorked Entertainment. Echoes of Fear was directed by Brian Avnet Bradley and Lawrence Avnet Bradley, and it was written by Brian Avnet Bradley. Trista Robinson, who was recently seen in Purgatory Road, plays Elisa, the sole inheritor of her grandfather's house, who returns to the house for the first time since her childhood to clean up the place so that she can sell it. As soon as she moves in, Elisa is plagued with dreams, flashbacks, and what seems to be paranormal phenomenon. The more Elisa digs into the history of the home and her grandfather's past, she begins uncovering some very disturbing details, and the more she unearths, the more her life seems to be in danger. Right off the bat, I want to acknowledge the otherworldly awesomeness of the actress Trista Robinson. She's reminiscent of Sarah Silverman, but is much less harsh than the comedian, and has a childlike voice of Jennifer Tilly, but is less Betty Boop sexy and more innocent. No matter how you describe her, she's a fantastic actress who isn't afraid to tackle some bizarre material. This movie is the perfect example of Robinson's risk-taking, as she delves into some pretty sordid stuff that her grandfather was up to. One would like to think of grandfathers as jolly old codgers, but the truth is they are people just like everyone else, wholly capable of good and bad things. Robinson's Elisa finds that disturbing truth out, and her childlike voice and wide eyes only make her reactions to these hidden secrets all the more twisted. It's gotten to the point where I'm actively seeking out films by Robinson, as she is such a memorable and talented actress. Echoes of Fear is one of those small indie films that totally blew me away. It sort of starts out like a harmless little ghost story, but it soon evolves into a morally twisted, depraved, and quite scary stunner. The story itself is, as I have already described, pretty twisted. I won't go into much detail, but there are some rough things uncovered hiding in the walls and foundations of the house Elisa inherited. The film moves at a brisk pace, to a point where I was caught up in the mystery and well into the story before I even noticed how fast things were moving. The way this mystery unfolds really works, as it's suggested both paranormal things are going on as well as real-world terrors, and the onslaught of both is relentless as the film goes on. On top of the speedy pace, Echoes of Fear really delivers some potent jump scares multiple times through the story. There are some awesome misdirections, coming-at-you moments, and simple jump scares that keep you on edge all the way through. Brian and Lawrence Avnet Bradley really do fill this film with a great eerie sense of gloom and doom, as well as electrifying scare scenes. Echoes of Fear is a great highlight of Trista Robinson's talent to terrify, as well as features some fantastic scenes that will make you wince and jump back. I highly recommend this low-budget, yet potent little shocker. That'll be it for today. Check back in tomorrow for my next pick on the countdown. Please chime in down in the comments and let me know what you think of these films, how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own list. If you like this video, please pound that thumbs up button. Share this video with your social media addicted pals. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on mlmillerwrites.com. That's where you can find the rest of this countdown as well. Don't forget I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks that you should look for. Grave Trancers is out right now, and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, will be out in late November, early December. Diamond order code APR 201712. And be sure to subscribe to this channel. and ring that bell for notifications so you can be the first to see my future videos. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside